Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena. So, we are back taking a look at these Harii Painted Warriors. But in part to have a look at the unit, and also in part to just briefly discuss some of the changes that happened to premium units in the last patch. So, broadly speaking, Creative Assembly and Wargaming decided that they felt many of the premium units were kind of underperforming compared to their in-tier counterparts. So basically they've decided by and large to give almost all the premium units a bit of a buff. So to take these Harii Painted Warriors, which I did a review on probably about a month ago, as sort of an example, they probably were a little bit underpowered in certain areas, and they've been buffed in two main areas. So in this case they've had their weapon damage increased from 207 to 224. So yeah, it's a reasonable, we're talking perhaps about 10% weapon damage increase, although their melee attack is still pretty low at 99, so it's only an increase in damage sort of when they can apply it, so it's not necessarily across the board. And they got an increase to their missile block chance, which is now 38, because it was only 23, and that probably was a little bit unreasonable, particularly how barbarians suffer enough with arrows as it is, and giving them a missile block chance of only 23, particularly when they have shields. I know they don't have a lot in the way of armour, but it was probably a little bit excessively harsh because they haven't anything like Testudo or anything, or any raised shields abilities to block anymore. So, yeah, I think in the case, say, of these units, they're not unreasonable changes, because I still don't think it makes them more powerful than the in-tier units. They don't get javelins or anything like that. We can do one consumables, but they can't be upgraded in any way. They don't have any access to any equipment because they're a premium unit and they come fully upgraded. However, obviously it's been a bit controversial in the sense that what role are premium units supposed to fulfill, and that's kind of one of the questions that's going around, is whether premium units are supposed to be worse than the in-tier Tetri units. Should we be expecting tier 6 infantry to be better than the tier 6 sort of Tetri infantry, or the same as the tier 6 Tetri infantry? And that's kind of one of the things they're kind of looking at, and they've tried to bring these premium units now in line to the Tetri units. So far, I think by and large they haven't gone too over the top with it. They're generally pretty small changes, small increases to missile block chance, small increases to weapon damage. So it's nothing that's really radically changed anything. And frankly, we don't really see very many premium units on the battlefield anyway. How often do you ever see Harii Painted Warriors on the battlefield? I don't think bar them when they were released, I don't think I've ever seen them on the battlefield since. So they're pretty rare units. And the same for most of the premium units, except a couple of the elephant stuff, like the Surus and the Melquart, or whatever the tier 7 one is. So yeah, so not massive changes, nothing radical. But we'll hop into a battle anyway with these tier 6 Harii Painted Warriors, see if the changes have made much of a difference. Particularly that missile block chance might make them a little bit more sturdy. And if we can get anyone to rout, then that increased weapon damage will be applied quite nicely. So I shall see you all in the battle. So we are loading into battle on the Thermopylae map, I believe. I am obviously more inclined to go straight for the forest. It's a little bit dependent on what we get coming with us, because if archers capture this sort of central point up here for the tower, then that can make things pretty difficult because it will be hard to escape. And while we've had improved missile block chance, we are certainly not going to be blocking great amounts of missiles with our shields, so we need to try and avoid them if we can. Plus these guys perhaps came with us, but maybe not.
Take the enemy base.
So let's have a look. I'll push up to the forest edge and see what we get coming with us. We are also looking pretty good from a tier point of view, at least on our team, assuming the enemy has a similar layout. I'm a tier 6 and it's mostly tier 5s kicking around. Looks like our archers are going the other way though, so we kind of feel a little bit vulnerable. We have got some tier 6 hoplites coming up with us, which could be interesting. So let's push forwards, I think. We'll take the risk. Whether I'm going to dash for the spotting point or not, I'm not sure. Let's split two off there, and then we'll send this unit up here. Look, that seems a sensible compromise. It's been a while since I played with Vercingetorix, so I might be a little bit rusty. No one's captured this central spotting point quite yet. So many Principes, they don't particularly worry me. Oh, the tier 5 warriors do a little though. Set them on fire if we can, because they're just going to stand there. And we'll charge into them. Okay, right, let's bring these other two units over rather quickly. Okay, let's pull off the flame. They don't want to fight there, but we did a good amount of damage to them, so I'm happy for that. For start gave us 250 points for nothing, so I'll take it. Oh, we're being flung at by peelers. Obviously, we'll get a little bit of better block than that, although obviously facing backwards means the shields aren't going to make a massive difference to it, so it probably doesn't make that much difference. Okay, so the Romans are getting stuck in. So let's try and see if we can push around and get a flank on them. We'll go straight in with Defiance. We did seem to get a flank on them by the looks of it. Let's move up with another unit. Don't pull back, stay there. I'm going to set a flame in there. Careful, people, careful, because we're going to cause too many friendly fires, otherwise. So those Romans are kind of caught in the middle of our Scorched Earth at the moment. We'll activate our Shield Bash. I'm not going to engage my other 2 units at the moment because we're winning this fight anyway, for one. Because they're all kind of behind us. And we can't really get involved without walking into flames, which isn't really of benefit to us. So we're not going to do that. Okay, so as the flames are ending, let's get these other 2 units properly stuck in. Where are we going to go? Let's push these on that. Obviously, I kept my flames off on some of these, so... Oh, not that one, though. Wrong one, wrong one, wrong one. You pull out. You go in. Sorry, I got that the wrong way around. I want you to come out of the fighting, please. So... Oh, you fools. That... I can just sort of... Well, let's at least keep them at bay if we... Keep those warriors out of it. Right, so let's try and flank some of these. Get our thing, go for Defiance. I seem to be defeating these Romans without too much trouble. Those warriors have either kind of got the choice of... Keep these guys pinned in here, look. Everyone else who's in Defiance doesn't have access to Shield Bash. They're actually fighting pretty well, these guys, considering, you know, we're kind of holding them all at bay. Our Punic Hoplites have struggled a little bit, it seems. That's fine, I understand that. Trying to keep my... Oops, wrong button, not that. Trying to keep my strikes going so we can keep slamming these Romans. The Romans are largely dead. They've not really had any luck routing anyone. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be enough to get them down, no. But we are slowly beating these guys back. Right, now we've got our slams into a bit of a better cycle. We should be able to keep these going. We are now winning the capture point, and it looks like we're kind of capturing the enemy base. So it kind of goes to show how these guys still can sort of still hold their own, to be honest. Let's get round the back of these Principes. Obviously, we get a really good morale flanking damage with these guys, so we can kill them pretty quickly. Okay, pull back off the flame. Dash off. So you don't want to be standing on that if we can. Move, people. Let's stop there. Okay, so we are actually losing this battle, so we've got to consider that a bit. Is our base under threat? Well, there's no one actually at our base, which is a point of concern. So let's start to push around one of these flanks. There's no one else in the centre. We're trying to get the cap in, but I don't think we're really going to be capping out the enemy base before this battle is over. So while we've won this fight on the hill, I don't think we're going to be winning this battle by the looks of it. But let's try and keep going. We'll try and stay in the forest if we can, looking at these Romans here. Obviously we get a bit of a bonus to our combat melee attack and stuff if we're fighting in the forest, because that's the way the Romans work. The Romans work, that's the way the barbarians work. The Romans will not get a bonus. But if these people have got sense, which they may do, they may not wish to fight us in a forest. We'll see if we can get close enough to these guys to charge into them with a harass. Give it a go. Bit of lag. Caught a few of them. We'll go for a slam to try and stun maybe. Let's pull back with these guys slightly. Just for sort of forcing them. We'll use... Oh, they went for Iron Discipline. Good move on their part. We'll do the same trick, because obviously we do not want to be routing. Push that unit round. Obviously we don't have access to slam because we are in Defiance. So again, they are pulling out. Let's try and see if we can get the slam on them. Will it have any effect? No, it won't really get them to slow down in time. We're continuing to get a little bit of damage against them. I can't really complain. Go for a charge. See if we can catch a few of them up. A couple, but not really very many. Try and catch a few of these stragglers. Okay. So we're not going to be able to do a lot there. What have we got? What's the situation over here? Well, those guys are greatly in trouble, aren't they? So So where things are getting more difficult for us, because so we're fairly diminished on our units. We're all around sort of 20%-ish. I don't really want to be fighting Romans in the open if we can help it, but basically our only surviving forces are over here in the sort of these elephants and on these remaining Principes. So if we just leave them and do nothing, then this battle is certainly lost. Or while it is probably lost, we still have these elephants, and you never know, elephants can, in the right circumstances, be pretty effective. So I think our best bet is going to be to push forward and try and render what assistance we can. We maybe at least get some good scorched earth throws in if a big fight breaks out. And you never know. Stranger things have happened. So let's use our little harass to charge forwards, gain a little bit of extra speed. And obviously, barbarians in their classically unformed movement are not very... Look at that. Just a mass of men charging forwards. So it looks like these barbarians are probably going to try and rear flank our Principes, which is fine if they want to do that. Now they have scorched earth them, which is a bit unfortunate. If I could get a scorched earth into this throng of people over here, I will gladly do so. And then I'll probably rear flank these guys. But they've got a really good rear flank in on those Principes. My main aim is to try and get forwards and get a throw in here. It will do a little damage to our elephants if I don't hit the wall entirely, but not a lot, basically. Okay, you engage there. Are they still in vengeance? They are, so let's pull back from that fight. Let's go for these warriors instead. Activate the harass. Okay, reasonable charge into them. Straight in with the slam. And we're not going to go for defiance, I don't think. Quite yet, anyway. So we got a good amount of damage against these guys. Look, we've got to probably about 10,000 damage against some of these Principes and more having to run in. Why don't we activate one of our fears and maybe we'll get someone to rout. If we rear flat them. Yeah, there they go. And then them. Routed. Okay, these guys got vengeance on. They have. So we want to be getting away while they've got vengeance on, because I cannot beat them if they have vengeance. Which is why I'm backed off the fight. These archers are going to be a problem for us, and it looks like we've lost all our elephants. Oh yes, this is definitely turning against us a little bit, isn't it? Let's just wait for their vengeance to pop off, then at least we can actually have a fight, and let's turn on these guys. I forgot my charge already. Let's go Iron Discipline and Defiance and see what we can do just as a last fight to the bitter end. These guys actually do a reasonable amount of damage fighting against Romans, and they're still racking up some damage before they're being killed. Obviously they've got Defiance activated, so it's just going to be a fight to the bitter end because I suspect their Iron Discipline will outlast their lives. So we gave it a reasonable stab. We got 3-2 on the aggression. Let's just do a slam, but unfortunately this battle is nearly over for us, as the last of us get cut down by the brutal Romans. Yeah, unfortunately, just too many of us, not quite enough to win the battle, but I think we gave a reasonable fight. Fought them on to the bitter end. I think Vercingetorix is the last one standing. He's got 1 hit point, and he's gone. Only been routed as well to top it off. Okay, well, hopefully that gives you a bit of an overview to some of the changes to the Harii Painted Warriors specifically, and sort of puts you in the know with what's happening with the premium unit changes. Obviously, they did put it all in the patch notes, which you can find on the website, which details the exact changes to each of the individual premium units, because they're fairly extensive. Most units have had sort of a small amount of changes. Harii Painted Warriors are one of the units that had the larger amount of changes, but I think they were kind of the ones that were lacking the most, particularly the missile block chance. But yeah, overall, sort of, it's changes. I'm not sure if they're either good or bad, really. Although I'm not displeased that the Harii Painted Warriors got a little bit of a buff, because they sometimes feel a little bit lacking. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you have, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think these premium unit changes are a good thing, a bad thing, or not that much of a thing at all? Subscribe to the channel for much more Total War Arena content, and thank you guys. I'll see you all on the next video.